And Solomon's another one. I mean, I was 90% through the scriptures on
yeah.
Solomon, thinking, hey, finally we got one.
He asked for wisdom.
Right.
He asked for wisdom, and he's wise. And then you read how many wives did he have, and how many horses and chariots. I mean, it was.
That's a busy man.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That's getting around. One
That's
thing
not
that
even
is
close to being wise. It's not the most foolish thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Fasting is such a rarity that look at Mr. Spiritual. I'm not here to
We know
do
you're
that.
not. You haven't been fasting like that. We do know that. So you don't have, but people around
you can tell I haven't.
Nice. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
They're in
Where'd you stay at?
Carolina Beach.
Carolina Beach.
And Carolina Beach got a golf course down there called the Boer Vaj.
Mm-hmm.
And the Boer Vaj is a beautiful golf course that has like a hotel attached to it. And so you can get a condo, walk right out, practice on the chipping green and putting green. Yeah. They got a swimming pool and pickleball over there.
Is it a nine?
Number one tee box right there.
There's a 9 hole. Was it 9 hole or 18?
Oh, it's 18. It's stated. I mean, it's nice. Yeah. It's a nice course. And so we went. We always go and play there. I told Daniel, Tim, and Nate that it'd be fun just to stay there one time for a weekend and just go hit the pool as soon as you get. Man, there ain't nothing better than the 18th hole. Walk right into your room, throw your swim trunks on. Or have them in your golf bag and just go right after you park your car. This heat's about got me some kind of way, man. I'm ready for it.
Last week was brutal. I played golf Wednesday and Thursday last week. I never played it, and I heard a lot of good things about it. Riverwood, Clayton. Have you ever played that? Man, good golf course.
It is fun.
I really enjoyed that.
I played good golf out there. I don't know why, but
I like the layout. It's it's in the same family, I guess, as Eagle Ridge. So a lot of the members out there were telling me, if you join one, you get all of them. And I told one of the guys I played with the other day, I said, the funny thing is, even though it's 30 minutes away, I'm more inclined to join now because if I've got the time to make the 30-minute drive, it's well worth it.
And you don't live that far from Eagle Ridge, do you?
No, I'm like 5 minutes from Eagle Ridge. So,
yeah.
But the funny thing is, Clayton just doesn't have as many people there. So it's easier to get tee times. You get around a lot faster. Sometimes Eagle Ridge will take 4.5, 5 hours. So I can almost drive to Clayton and play 18 holes and get back quicker than I can go to Eagle Ridge and play.
Is that out on Auburn something road? There's two of them out there. Clayton's got two nice courses.
River Ridge, I think, is the other one.
Okay. Now that's one we
Clayton has another one, the Noose. There's some good golf courses in
the Noose
Clayton.
is one I really like. Okay.
That's become like my new spot. I feel like I've gotten into this.
Where's it at now?
What?
Which one?
Yeah, when you were talking about your favorite
Riverwood, honestly, I don't even know. I don't know my way around it. I just follow GPS.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Took 540 and went. I ended up going through downtown Clayton.
Yep.
And then you go through there. I took a ride on this little road.
You don't go on 42. That's the other one. Noose is off 42.
42,
42.
Well, I was on 42. Now, that place has changed.
You better believe it.
That area's become my new. I usually go to Eagle Ridge on Wednesdays, and then Thursdays I've been getting the habit of going out there and playing. They're good golf courses, and you can get around a little bit quicker, and it's and it's not a bad thing for me, honestly, to have the 30-minute drive because when I play at Eagle Ridge, it's like I'm working, and rushing
just run
to get out, and I don't have but 5 minutes to get. I usually leave the house at 4:35 for a 4:40 tee time, right? So there's not really a whole lot of time to shift your mind. So having a 30-minute ride
if you're just jumping right on the tee box, I tell you what helped us on Thursday. We just got a bucket of balls because they had a driving range. We got a bucket of balls and hit before we played. I was like, man, I don't know that I've ever, except tournaments sometimes when you play like a charity event. I learned that I ever hit a bucket before I play.
I've learned a valuable lesson on that from playing on these simulators where you got all this data. It takes me about 25 to 50 swings to get loosened up. I mean, my first few swings will always be 5-6 miles an hour slower than once I've hit a few balls. So when I go play 9 holes, I'd always feel like I wasn't hitting it as far. Well, that's why I'm not loose. So I've been trying to remember to.
And it gets more out there as you get older.
Yeah. Well, that's been my. Gabe's put me on a diet. And he's wanting to go start working out, and he's like, Dad, didn't you say you needed to work out? I said, yeah. I said I needed to. I didn't really have any plans to do it, but he's made me start doing it. But when I play now, I mean, I played 18 last Thursday, and I mean, I feel like I'm dehydrated. My head's hurting. I mean, I feel like I'm about to die by the end of it. And it's like, man, it didn't used to be this hard.
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah.
And if you walked, it'd be a whole lot more.
Yeah,
Are you walking?
No,
Okay.
I can't do that anymore.
Well, if you walked last Thursday, I know you're tired.
I think the swimming is
Swimming is where it's at, Jack.
Kenny will be his
Swimming is where it's at.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Swimming, man. You got.
Man, I'm telling you, man. I am feeling it this morning.
Yeah.
I swam a third of a mile this morning.
Well, he says he is. I've never seen it. I haven't seen his pictures. He just takes pictures. He's always taking pictures of the pool or the sauna or something. But I never see him.
He's not in it. Yeah.
As far as I know, he's been picking them up off the internet.
I swam a third of a mile, which don't sound like much. That about wiped me out this morning, man.
I just got to see you actually in there before
I want to swim a half a mile. My goal is to be a half a mile by, let's see, today is July 1st. All right, October, November, I want to be doing half a mile.
But yeah, he has a tan like he's been outside.
I'll say you got a nice little tan there.
That's what the beach does.
Yeah,
man.
I just don't know about that pool thing.
It's also cutting grass, so just for the record.
Yeah.
Cutting grass gets it that way. You've got a pretty good tan. Where did yours come from?
Just being outside with my arm out there on the going down the highway.
And golf always gives me a tan.
See, I'm not getting my tan this year like I normally do because most of it I'm doing is inside.
Okay.
Simulator.
Yeah. You sure are.
Yeah. So I can always find an hour. So you can play 18 holes on simulator in like 40 minutes. But
ain't that nice?
I can find that. It's hard for me to find 4.5 hours to get out right now and play. I can do it about every couple of weeks. I can get out a couple of times.
I think Tim plays in a little league with his work. And here lately, because RGA's under construction, they've been playing at Sully's or somewhere like that.
I saw Tim out there a few weeks ago.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say something to him?
Oh, yeah.
Good,
We sat there and talked for about the whole hour, kind of back and forth a little bit. In fact, we were talking about he didn't like the shorter tees. And I said, well, he said, wonder if you could stick. So the way they have them, they have these little tiny short tees.
Right.
And then they have like a medium size and a taller, but even the tall is probably that much shorter than a real tee. And he said, I can't get used to this thing. I said, well, I wonder if you can stack them on top of each other. So we've stacked them, and that actually works. So
there you go.
We improvise.
No, he was telling me he was going out there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I can tell he's been practicing somewhere because he beat me pretty bad, and he actually beat Nate, which he's never done that.
Oh, really?
But
Really?
Nate was not on his game.
So you were in third place.
I'm in third place, easily. But I hit the ball further than they do.
You said it further than Nate? You said Nate can get it out there with you, though.
Not anymore.
Really?
I've been hooking up, swimming.
You had that mask on too, right? That scuba mask. You get zero in where he's going.
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Other 167.
Good to see you.
Pastor Ben. Kenny wearing the pink.
Kenny the
I did
Jet.
the pink last time. You
Mighty pink. That's a mighty pink.
actually-
That's a polo.
And I did get.
That's not even a Saddleback. You remember Saddleback was the ripoff of the polo.
We went to Polo
Outlet.
in Nags Head, and they're going out of business. And this shirt, I got this shirt for $30. Brand new.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a bunch of anything I could fit. That I would fit in. I got.
You didn't call nobody else about that.
Well, you're too far away. They've been out of business.
I would have
by
come.
then.
I'd have just gave you the
yours
money.
would have been even close.
I'd have just told you to get me a medium, and I'll pay you for it.
A medium.
Medium.
Okay. What age were you when you were a medium?
It's all that swimming, man. He's trying
That's
to
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He's counting for next summer.
Yes.
After he can swim.
Got to
a
have
mile.
goals, man.
You're stockpiling.
Yeah. I told Gabe the other day when he was trying to. First of all, I was disappointed when I started doing the math at how long it's going to take me to get back to the weight that I want to be at. Because I was like, man, I am way past. But I told Gabe, I said, I bet I hit a golf ball further because it's all about rotation, and I'm basically trying to rotate a 15-pound baby with my torso right now.
That's
so
it.
I bet
You
I can
will. You lean
go
up.
further.
So now, what kind of exercises are y'all doing to get Gabe hooked up?
Different. We are not on the same workout plan. So I dropped him off at the Y.
Oh, okay.
I dropped him off at the Y yesterday. I went to Sully's and
One in Cary?
No, Garner.
Garner, okay.
So I dropped him off, and that kid, I gave him a workout like a circuit, basically. And said, do this 5 times, and then just do it again, then do it again.
You know he needs a partner. Or somebody to help him.
Yeah.
Encourage him.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm just saying, he needs somebody his age or somebody that can push him a little bit.
Well, I went with him one night, and he asked me if I would be like his trainer.
Right.
And this is so funny.
Like Mickey.
He's got this crush at school, and half his motivation is I want her.
Yeah.
And he's kind of not goofing off, but he was talking more than he was working out. And I finally said, "All right, you want me to be a trainer?" And I started kind of yelling. I was like, "Come on, show her how tough
Make
you are."
you eat lightning and.
Well, I said, "How tough are you?" He said, "I'm not tough at all. Leave me alone."
Yeah.
But he's been doing doing the machines. So he can't do free weights. He can do the machines.
I get it.
So I kind of gave him the ones that would help a basketball. A lot of legs and squats, and he's wanting abs. So I gave him some ab stuff. But my workout is I'm trying to get up to 3 miles walking per day. We are stepping my way back into this.
That's a good one.
I actually was talking about the guy that trained me the last time I worked out a lot. I was talking to him the other day, and he actually is the one who told me, he said, you don't need to start off like going to the gym an hour a day because you're pretty obsessive and you'll about kill yourself that first day or two and you won't be back.
Yes,
so he's into it. So I'm just trying to get back to walking. As much as I love walking a long time, I haven't been doing that lately.
I thought you were.
I had for a long time. It's just I feel like it's hard
to start carrying your own clubs and you'll loosen up real quick. You'll lose some weight fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Try to walk a golf course. That'll.
Sheesh.
So do they let you walk? Most of the time you have to get it.
It depends on the course and depends on the time of day.
Yeah, you go in the late in the afternoon. They don't care.
Yeah, probably the Eagle Ridge. I mean, I hate to be this way about it, but it's like $34 to ride and $28 to walk. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and they want. Yeah, it used to be like half price. I mean, you used to could walk. Well, Pine Bur down again. Pine Bur, but Friday afternoons they had a twilight deal. After 5 o'clock, you carry your bag, you can walk all you want, $5.
When I was a kid growing up, the course that I grew up playing on, they had a deal was basically you pay for 18, you could walk all day.
Yeah, that's right.
So man, I'd walk 30.
Nate has
sometimes.
walked 36, 54 and just kept on because he's young. He could do it. Now, it's a hilly course, but I tell you, but now he had a push cart, which is different. But still, it ain't. It don't
help as much as riding.
Yeah, you're still walking.
Yeah,
and I usually love it.
I do tend to ride on the golf course now because it's just, especially this time of year, I won't play nearly as well walking and carrying because it's just you're just so exhausted. You can't.
Too hot.
So, I enjoyed Sunday. You had a heck of an outing.
I'm telling you, y'all need to let me go on. Y'all need to let me go on vacation more often.
Yeah, I was impressed that you got through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
and I didn't
10.
spend as much time on the last 3 as I probably
we're going to do that today.
Okay.
So that was probably
that is one that honestly because those are the counterfeits that I believe the enemy offers or puts up sometimes that we can fall for that we think is freeing, but it puts you more back in bondage.
Well, 2 of them were kind of new terms to me. Legalism we've talked about a lot.
Yes.
So that was not, that wasn't a surprise necessarily. Yep. Mysticism was one I've never heard the term. I'd never thought about it, and you really raised my eyebrows big time with that one because that was one that I hadn't really thought, I guess, a whole lot about, but I've experienced it without knowing what it was. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like explain that.
Well, and trooping on during that time when Paul was writing to the church at Colossae, there was the mystics, where it's kind of that was kind of and what I defined it as, and I think it's a good way to think about it is trying to experience God and the presence of God outside of His Word and the truth and His Spirit. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's looking for a good feeling, looking for, and sometimes you'll run into mysticism that everything has to do with spirit. Mm-hmm. And it's true. We live in a spiritual world and a physical world.
Yeah.
But I don't think everything has to be about spirit and everything else. So they're always into as I said Sunday, and this is the way I really like to think about it, is you're always looking for that emotional high, always looking for that good feeling. And I didn't get into it much because just didn't have the time. But I think oftentimes churches nowadays are all about I got to have the right music. I got to have. It doesn't matter if they're going to teach anything. I just want that. I want that good time feeling, or that And again, I want music. I want music to move me, and that's the wonderful thing about music is it can. But if that's the end all be all of your faith is that feeling and that movement, man, you've missed the truth.
Well, I think you called it living for spiritual goosebumps.
Yes.
That's your words or mine?
That was I said that.
That sounds like you.
Because I even said that, what if you never experienced another spiritual goosebump?
Mm-hmm.
Would trusting and leaning in Christ be enough?
Yeah.
And it should be.
Always looking for a sign.
Yeah, or looking for a sign is another form of mysticism.
Mm-hmm.
But what was happening at Church of Colossae is these false teachers were saying you got to worship angels, you got to have the same visions that we have, and so it really is more think of mystic, but also spiritual. That okay, you got to do this if you're going to be a mature Christian. Nowhere is that, and there are some denominations that'll say unless you speak in tongues, are you truly saved?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
I don't see that's anywhere in the scriptures.
Yeah.
So.
Not all, but some. But I know what you're saying. Some do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people. Yes, and that I think, and I'm just knowing what you're talking about. That is a old belief. It's not taught today that I'm aware of, but it has.
I'll put it this way: 6 years ago, I had a college kid go off to college and call me and ask me, "Am I truly saved?" And he got some friends that had told him.
If you were?
No, if he was. He said, "Am I truly saved?" Because my friends told me that if I don't speak in tongues, am I truly saved?
And I'm speaking of because I know exactly what you're talking about. It's not doctrine as much as it is interpretation by individual churches.
And then you have some folks who go to seed on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so
you have some churches that are like that. You have some Christians that are like that. And, well, unless you have, and I think if you really want to know the truth of it, Paul, I love the way he handled it. He handled it with humility. And he said, I know someone that went to the third level of heaven. He's talking about himself, but he won't bragging about it. And he won't just, hey, you got to, this is evidence of Christianity. No. And then asceticism is just any kind of form of denial of I'm denying myself food, thinking that's going to make me holy. Now, nothing wrong with fasting. Nothing wrong with praying and fasting. I just don't want nobody to know I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a show of it. I'm not looking for, I think Martin Luther I gave the illustration of that. I think what they were saying was, okay, you can't touch this, you can't touch that. So asceticism and legalism kind of go together. It's just one has to be with a little bit more extreme and a little bit more of denial of the flesh, because the flesh is just seen as everything wicked.
Well, I think this is my word, but it was. Tell me if I'm describing it the right way. It's like trying to level up towards God. You think if you do enough of these things, it's gonna somehow gain you favor with God.
Yes.
And if I can fast for a week, then I get an extra brownie
20 points.
or an extra Boy Scout patch on my
That's it.
my God.
Rather than the whole purpose of fasting is seek the Lord. And there's times for fasting of denial for just getting your head straight, but really it's about seeking the Lord. It's about hearing from the Lord. And so it's not I'm earning God's favor or I'm getting to more holiness. No, you're holy in Christ.
Yeah.
let me ask you this, because I think is a misinterpretation. A lot of people, when they're fasting, don't let people know. And I get that, but I don't think that was what Jesus' point was, as much as it. Don't brag about it. Don't have people.
Well, that's it.
Yeah,
and that's why I keep it to myself, because fasting is such a rarity that look at Mr. Spiritual. I'm not here to we know
you
that.
You haven't been fasting like that. We do know that. So but people around
you can tell I haven't.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
If he was,
once every other year, or
if he was, he could fit in that medium that he was ordering from.
My point is, you're going to have to tell people you're close to.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, you haven't eaten in 2 days. What's wrong? I'm just not hungry. Well, that's a lie, but
nothing wrong with telling those that are close,
right.
your wife, your spouse, your friends,
presenting yourself like you're some type of holy person.
That's it. And I sure ain't going to, hey, y'all, look at me. And that's what the Pharisees were doing. I mean, they were even making it where they looked like they were fasting more than they were.
Right.
Because it was
they wanted the outer, they wanted the praise.
And it's all about the inner. That's what fasting is about. And it doesn't always have to be about food. I mean, it can be fasting from.
But I think food is the one that really.
Oh, that's the hardest one.
Dynamite to your prayer life. Yeah.
Well, food is by far the hardest one because
hardest one goes to everything.
Yeah, you got to eat.
And if you don't fast and pray, if you don't pray and fast, it don't do you no good.
That's right.
It's a good diet plan, I guess.
Yeah, terrible diet plan.
Yeah, well, we know you don't really like it that much.
The mysticism thing is something that I definitely. I never heard of it put that way, but it's exactly what I have experienced over the last few years. Because when I first had my, I think I figured out the way to finally nail down my description of the difference when I first got saved and recently. Right. It's like when you start dating somebody and you get serious and you give them the key to your house. Okay. Like I kind of gave Jesus the key to my life and my heart back in I was in high school, but I didn't really invite him to move in.
Right.
Probably 2 years ago. You're welcome, like around the clock.
Welcome to stop by.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to stop by if you need. If you need something,
yeah.
But it's kind of drop in, drop out kind of relationship.
It's almost the difference between, I hate to say it, engagement and marriage.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
there's a good way to put it that way, and you're right.
Yeah.
There's that difference.
But in the first couple of years, especially as I started to read through the Bible more regularly, I mean, it was like I was getting these little goosebumps all the time, and that felt like that's what spiritual normal is supposed to be, right? But it's not necessarily that spiritual normal is just new.
Yeah.
It's just the newness. Of course, there's a lot of opportunities. God's revealing Himself, and I'm learning a lot about Him. There's a lot of opportunities for those goosebumps, but it's not something that you have to think that it's got to be everyday occurrence, or you must be doing something wrong. I think that's something that I've struggled with as I've matured with it a little bit. Is why am I not getting the same feelings from it? We've talked about it a lot on the show, but that's the first time I'd heard you preach about that or heard that term.
Yeah. And I think it's one of, when you go to the Word, it's not going to be, the Lord may speak to you, and the Lord is going to speak to you as you read His Word. Mm-hmm. It may not be you hear bells and everything, but at the same time, it goes back to, like we said, spiritual maturity is not having to have all that, or not having to have God constantly telling you what to do. It's knowing what His Word is, and it's walking in that. And so at the same time, He still talks to His friends, and He still talks to us. It's just it's not the end-all, be-all that, I got to get that good feeling when I get that verse. I'm one of... I think everybody knows me. I'm not touchy-feely, although I'm kind of, I like to think I'm nice, but I'm not a touchy-feely guy.
Yeah.
But those touchy-feely guys, man, they get into some of that.
Yeah. Well, I do remember when I first got saved, I'm reading the Living Bible, which was, I guess, kind of new at that time. I started Matthew. I couldn't put a book down.
Yeah.
And because it was a novelty, and it was fascinating about the life of Jesus. Who is this man? It was entertaining. Now, many years later, when I read the Bible, I don't read near as much, but I read enough to where I learn something, where I can put in practice. So I'm not reading it as a so-called autobiography or a history.
Or just this is fascinating stuff.
But now I'm reading, I don't remember this. I need to do this.
How is this going to impact
How does it
my life?
affect my daily life?
Mm-hmm.
So.
How can I implement this?
So I don't read. It would be probably, and this is not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just how I operate. I read at the most. I will read maybe 10 verses to get the heading, the context. Now, if I find something that is meaningful, yes, I'll read the whole thing.
Or dive into one verse, and that's fine. That's really. I believe that's your Bible study needs to be. That is finding 3-4 verses deeper. And really diving in. Yeah. Doing the diagram, circling. Why does he use that word, and how does it? When he uses the word yet or for or but,
which I like now, is going to 20, 30 translations of reading the same verse. See, then putting it together, because every translation. When I say every translation that's been translated correctly, I'm not talking about somebody's trying to translate into their doctrine. But every translation is pretty much saying about the same thing, but it's just how they say it.
Mm-hmm.
And the King James is good on some things, NIV is good on other things. I like that one. Or the NLT is.
And if you can memorize it in 3 or 4 versions, you're in great shape.
No, I do. You're right. I memorized King James.
Yeah, I did too when I was little.
That's how I bring it for his recall. I'll quote the King James.
Yeah.
But I've read it in other languages.
I would say mine's probably a mixture, but a lot of times it's what I memorized when I was a kid.
Well, I memorized the King James easier because it's a language I don't speak. And that's easy for me.
I didn't memorize it easier, but
and I can't memorize. I mean, I can memorize it word for word, but NLT I can't, or the NIV I can't, because I taught that way.
right.
I might use the here or an or but word for word I'll quote out of the King James.
Gotcha. I got you. But no, I think approaching the Bible as, okay, I'm going to hear from God. God want to hear from you, and sometimes He speaks, and sometimes it's earth shattering and earth moving, and other times it's just, okay, there's a verse, and how do I apply that to my life? Doesn't always have to be that, I'm looking that feeling. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem. Or, as anytime you start getting into spiritualism or worshiping spirits or thinking more about spirits than you are about Christ, that's really what it was getting at.
It's funny to me a little bit that the Old Testament seems not in I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but almost repetitive. It's very repetitive. It's the same pattern of things happening, right? It's not the same story over and over and over again, but it's the same pattern. And it's, I see you kind of shaking your head to it. The pattern still kind of exists today, too.
Well, it does. It ain't going away. But, I mean, you stop and think about it. Judges is nothing but a cycle. Mm-hmm. They'd go into captivity. They'd cry. They'd spend years in that. They'd cry out. God would deliver. They'd live free for a while, go back into captivity because of their sin. It's just a vicious cycle. Well, Judah and Israel, northern kingdom, southern kingdom, pretty much the same cycle. You'd have some kings that were good, some that won't. Towards where you're at as far as the end of the Old Testament, that we're getting, depending on which book. I mean, you're going to be looking at exile, or you're going to be looking at even when they're rebuilding the temple and coming back. Mm-hmm. They're still struggling, and there's still every prophet's going to be crying out for social justice and why do the people live the way they do?
Yeah.
So. The more things change, the more they stay the same, I reckon.
Yeah, well, the Old Testament, the whole book of the Israel is almost the pattern of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Up and down, up and down. Maybe I'm not as up and down as much as I used to be, but But that is like, if we really think about it, the Old Testament is how most Christians live today.
Yeah,
we're up, and then when something goes wrong, we're praying. Then
or we backslide, or
Yep. Well, the backslide. What is the definition of backslide? Is it turning your heart completely against God, or is it just?
I don't know that it starts as.
I mean, it's in the Old Testament.
I don't think that I would say it starts as completely. I think it's just you begin to get cooler and cooler and cooler to the point that you are no longer even remotely walking closely.
But then we're talking about, are you saved or?
No, I didn't say that. I said backslidden. I didn't say a word about saved and unsaved.
I know what you're saying.
You add that.
No, that's right. I did. I did add that because that's what.
That's what many people define it.
Define that.
And backslidden applies a lot of times to the nation of Israel. That hey, you are not walking in the covenant that you said you were going to. But I don't know whether that would necessarily say they're not saved and unsaved, because it doesn't apply. Because they were the children of Israel.
We do think.
we do.
I do think of that when Israel backslid. Well, they weren't saved when they died, or that's just my normal thought.
And it's hard to apply that because we're under a different dispersion of grace, if you will.
And like Lot in Genesis, I thought he lost it. Yeah. And then I read in Peter.
No,
he was righteous.
Yeah,
that don't even click. How do you know that? So that's that would be, I would say that would be more in line with once saved, always saved type thing.
Sure.
But what I saw in Genesis, how in the world can he be saved? Or, but then I see, because he was walking close.
Yeah, and Peter says, righteous Lot.
And but then he got Sodom and Gomorrah, kind of got him off track. Then Peter, I don't know how Peter knew all this, but I guess he did. He said he was a righteous man.
Well, I think to some degree he had to figure he probably lived in the middle of that stuff, and even he had to say, man, this is. Yeah. But why do you still stay there?
Yeah. And and we got to be very careful that this story is not talking. A lot of the stories that we read in the Bible, evil kings, because we got one that was the most evil king. Well, we find out later on in Chronicles, he was a saved person. So we got to be very careful on, were they bad kings, or were they good kings, or were they saved kings?
Well, let me put it this way: if they were from the north, they were bad kings.
Yeah, but does that mean that they weren't saved, or at one point?
Well, I mean,
because we don't know the whole thing.
And when we use the term saved, I don't know that you can use the term saved. That's where that dispersion of grace, we can use them as examples, but still, we're saved by grace through faith. And yes, Habakkuk, we're going to look at it this Sunday. The just shall live by faith. Yeah. I get it. At the same time, we know it as different because we know what the rest of the story is. And so saved versus unsaved, it's hard to say.
Right, because we don't know their whole life.
Versus, I mean, for them, was it knowing that there's going to come a Messiah? I don't know. I mean,
because I'm not so certain that all those bad kings, and they were bad, were not in the end, maybe in heaven. I don't know.
I might disagree with that.
Well, I don't want to say yes, and I don't want to say no. I want to really say there's a possibility.
Not sure, but it's all up to God as well. But when you lead a nation to follow idols and you do all those things, I don't know that that's necessarily.
Well, we did have one now, Hezekiah's son. He was really pretty bad.
But there was a lot of them that did the same thing.
Of course. Yeah. But he did repent later on, and we only find that out in Chronicles.
Right. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. There's enough wickedness there that I don't know. I'd say there's. Yeah, several. Ahab, I doubt.
Yeah, probably. Jezebel, we know because her name's used throughout the Bible.
So that's what I'm getting at. Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Nebuchadnezzar ends up following God in the end,
he has his moments when he does. Yeah, he still ends up going back to being. I mean, I don't know that he ever really becomes. But after he spends 7 years eating wild grass and becoming basically a wild animal. He then turns and he says, "No, there is no other God but God." But then you see a little bit later he's kind of resorting back to being the old Nebi.
Well, so it's kind of hard for me to tell when I'm reading through it because it's not like it's in one consolidated timeline, right? It's you learn about all this evil stuff in this book, and then you learn about this, and then I've got to go back to the timeline and figure out was this before or after. So I guess after in Daniel when he
they've already been in exile for years.
Yeah,
getting close to. I mean, they're starting to count the years because Daniel reads it and he says, 70 years. He's starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's within that time frame. So they've been in exile probably, I'd say 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, and that's what was hard for me the first several times I tried to read the Bible in the Old Testament was because it was constantly. And we talked about this before. I pick up the Bible and I'm immediately trying to identify the wicked and the righteous.
Right.
Who's right in this story and who's wrong in this story. And it is really hard to figure that out in the Old Testament because the righteous people turn around and become wicked, and then the wicked become righteous.
They fall.
And it's a roller coaster back and forth, and it's. I think Saul is doing things great, and then all of a sudden he's one of the most evil kings that we've had. And it's just like, I can't keep. I think Daniel is perfect little angel, and then here comes Bathsheba. So
David, you see, David's an interesting read because, yes, in his early years, with Goliath and the sheep and everything that he was, but if you start looking and reading the story of David, there's some little chinks in the armor that just keep happening, whether it's numerous wives, whether it's several things that he does that is like, oh, I see. Yeah. So it wasn't just a one-time thing with Bathsheba. I think there was some little leaks of air.
More than just Bathsheba. There might have been
I
other
think there
ones.
was some other things that he had going on in his
He might
life.
have had some other women.
But then that was the coup de grace, if you will, the coup de grace.
Yeah.
And that one kind of set the rest of the tone for the rest of his life between all his children and all the things that took place with children and stepbrothers and sisters and being ran out of town by his own son. I mean, there was a lot of bad stuff, old David.
And he probably had a lot of enemies after that too.
I don't know. I think he had friends, but I think he also had. One being the king was.
And he wanted some of them dead, but he couldn't get to them. He was telling Solomon, take it. Remember them.
And Solomon's another one. I mean, I was 90% through the scriptures on Solomon, thinking, hey, finally we got one.
He asked for wisdom.
Right.
He asked for wisdom, and he's wise. And then you read how many wives did he have, and how many horses and chariots. I mean, it was.
That's a busy man.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That's getting around. One
That's
thing
not
that
even
is
close to being wise. It's not the most foolish thing I've ever heard.
He was wise till he met.
Yeah.
the thing that is funny to me about all of these is that we talk about back to legalism, right? Okay, all of our heroes of the faith, look how fallen they are. Look how many ways. I mean, these are righteous men to God, right? And good gracious, look what they did.
Right.
But now we think that our neighbor's supposed to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Absolutely perfect. We had a Bible study with Doug last night on the Zoom Bible study we're doing.
Yeah,
we're talking about legalism. You had to told me. We had a good time.
Well, I was telling him I might do it in August. I don't have. July is a busy month.
Book of James. Be fun.
In August I'll do James.
I was thinking
I'll catch up.
I can read chapter 1. I'll be with you.
Yeah, I was thinking this last night. I didn't bring it up, but we have a hard enough. He was talking about how the Pharisees took the Levitic law, but then they added traditions and things to it. And I'm thinking, wow, there were the law itself was plenty restricted.
613 commands.
Why do we want to come in and now add even more restrictions on top of that when we couldn't follow that anyway, right? And when I talk about the Bible being repetitive, it's funny to me that I guess I was expecting to hear the Old Testament have, almost like an entire chapter, an entire book on each individual potential sin. It's not like a spider's web of all these different types of sins. It's really two: idol worship and pride. And then there's a lot of different extensions of
the
that.
way that takes its shape.
Right.
And we've said before that pride is really one of the mother, if you will, of sin.
Yeah.
A lot of times it stems from pride.
Yeah.
And at the heart, I've said this, at the heart of sin is a heart of pride.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it my way. I know what God said, but I know what I'm thinking is better.
Right.
There's just a lot of pride there, and that's where sin really kind of germinates.
I think a lot, because it seems to be in every religion. We have the tendency to want to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which can lead to pride. Which that's kind of the legalism is what that leads to.
And so that's what I see in in the Pharisees. Actually, it was in the Jewish law too. I mean, where you had to do this, that. And there was grace. It was just not discovered.
Right.
And so with that, it's hard to, I guess, not to. We want to be good enough. I think that's one of our problems. We think we're good enough, and that we got to do this thing. Our neighbor is. Don't be like them. But my sin's okay, but his sin is awful.
You're always, and it's always going to be yours is worse than mine.
Yes.
Or
no,
I got to find something that you did that I did better. Or
no, I've got to find something that you did better.
It's a competition.
Do better than you.
That's what legalism is. Yeah. I'm going to compete against you. You're going to compete against me.
And we just missed the point when. And Paul says, and I really this has really hit hard on me when Paul says, and I'm just now understanding it all. Well, maybe not all of it. When Paul says, if you've done one wrong thing, God, you're
guilty of all of it.
Guilty of all of it. And that's kind of strange. But what I guess is what he's saying. God is so perfect, so completely off the charts on our level, that one little sin will cause you death, cause you, to be put in a lake of fire. Just one.
Eternal
But
separation.
we don't think of that because we sin all the time, and a lot of us just love to do it. Yeah.
Well, and I think whether it's mysticism or ascetism or legalism or whatever application of it you want to, whichever form it can take. I'd kind of go back to the analogy from a few shows ago about me and Reese playing that golf tournament. One of the funny things about that was I was a little disappointed that only 2 other teams showed up. It was too easy.
Yeah,
I would have loved to. I would have felt a whole lot better about our name being on that plaque if we had beat 20 teams, right? I think sometimes we overcomplicate religion. We overcomplicate the rules. We add to it, make it as hard as we possibly can, so that we feel something like we've got something to be proud of, like we've actually accomplished it. Because what did we do? Mm-hmm. Jesus did it all. Well, that doesn't sit well with our pride. It's too easy. It's not like I wanted to lose the golf tournament. I just wanted to feel more proud of my accomplishment than I got to feel from finishing first out of 3 teams. Well, it's kind of the same thing with Jesus. He made it so easy that we don't have an opportunity to be proud at all of for it. So what do? We add other things so we can have something to be proud of.
Yeah, and it's just if we just really understood how holy God is. I mean, if we really understood it, then if you only done one sin, you're guilty of it all. It would make more sense.
Yes, but at the same time, at the heart of sin and the heart of wickedness is that I still can be good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or even though I may hear that, I get it, but I still got to earn it.
I mean,
that is the nature of being a human, which is fallen right now. And that's, has been since Genesis 3.
And I just don't think we get it. That our sin is just completely, is awful, is terrible. Just one. It's just, God hates all sin. And I don't know, he's so far off the charts, I don't know if he can categorize, well, this one's worse than that, so they're going to suffer more. Well, that might happen.
That's right. When you know God's holiness, it does.
I think sometimes we just fail to see how holy God really is.
Mm. Well, everybody who did in the scriptures changed them tremendously. Yes. Isaiah fell and said, "Woe is me, I'm a man of unclean lips, I live among unclean lips." Everybody else fell as dead. It was life changing.
Right, yes.
It was truth. The truth really shook their world.
Well, and something that you said Sunday too, our freedom from worry, fear, guilt, and doubt comes from a declaration of dependence on Christ. So our independence comes from dependence on Him.
Right.
Or our freedom from these things come from a reliance on Him.
That's it.
And that's just it. It's just too simple to be able to do. You know what I mean? Like it's simple as it can be. Get out of His way, and you don't have to do anything. Or get to do anything, depending on the way you want to say it.
Right.
But it's all His word. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that's too simple to enjoy.
There is to some degree a part of that we play in it. Mm-hmm. And again, we got to accept it, but then we work out our faith with fear and trembling. Mm-hmm. Work out your own salvation. To use an analogy, since I swim so much.
What is this 4 times now? You've been 4.
This is the 4th time.
4th time, yeah. He's knocking it out.
The water itself actually causes you to float.
Yeah.
So it's holding you up, really does. Now the key is if you got to swim though, you got to put a little effort to it. And it's the water that's holding you up. It's the water that's doing that. And still, I gotta move my arms. I gotta kick a little bit if I'm going to get to the end. So there is a union. I hate to say union, but I think so. Union between yourself of working out your fear and salvation. Because I hate to say it, the Bible isn't going to read itself. But it's still walking by the Spirit. So it is less of me, but there's still. I got to put forward the effort and troop it on. I got to die to self. That's something you got to do.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to do. We know that the key, the secret to all of this is dying to self.
Yeah,
and
zero of me.
Zero of me and more. It is the doing that.
That's it.
Is what is.
Well, because nobody wants to see that.
No.
Because everybody at the heart of hearts, and for humans, for the most part, a lot of me is a good thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody thinks they're good people.
Yep.
Even the worst people think they're good.
I loved your analogy
You
Sunday too. Putting fruit, nailing a banana to a pine tree and calling it fruit.
Yeah, you're bearing
great-
fruit today, huh? And I think that's what we all, that's really, and that's the ugliness of living in bondage of trying to please people, living in bondage of trying to make something of your life, when Christ is saying, no, if you'll make me your life, you'll see, you'll bear fruit, and you'll bear fruit that lasts for eternity. And that's really what I was wanting to get at, as far as, because I don't think many people truly know, one, what Christian freedom is, but number two is how to walk in it. What does it look like, or experience it? And that's what's kind of sad and devastating, because to know I don't have to walk around with fear and guilt and shame and doubt and all that, man, that is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I always love when you say, when you talk about freedom, whom the Son of Man has set free shall be free indeed.
Free indeed.
But we just don't know how free we can be. We just don't know our freedom.
Or how much, what it means. And that's really where that whole sermon
And
came
I'm not
from.
even sure I understand how.
Yeah. Well, even after one sermon, it's going to take so it takes a lifetime to really discover. But yeah, I had so much fun putting that together last week. I really did. The only problem was the youngins wanted to stay up late talking and playing games, and it's like, they all got to go to bed. I got to get my stuff done.
I mean, we have freedom not to sin. We have freedom. We're free not to do this. We're free that we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
We're free that we don't have to worry. We're free that we don't have to fear things.
There's so many
But we
things.
just don't know that. Well, I mean, we know it, but we just have it. And I'm talking about myself.
Well, again,
I haven't applied it enough.
yeah. Well, and that's the principle and the practice.
Yeah.
We know the principle. We are free. This is blah 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 blah. It comes to practice. How do I walk in that then? How do I live in it? What is it like?
A lot of it's belief.
So
God is. I mean, a lot of it is. I would say more so is letting go.
Yep.
Letting.
Well, and it goes back to that's what trust is.
Yes, letting go. And that's probably the hardest thing for Americans in a society where we have things.
We're self-supporting.
Yeah, to a point that, do we really need God? That type of thing.
Scary.
That's
Yeah.
scary.
But you're right.
In a foreign country, they need miracles because they don't have nothing. But if I get sick, I can call the doctor.
Yeah.
If I get hungry, I can go up here at Hardee's and get me
Or
something.
you can call DoorDash.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather go to Hardee's.
I don't know, man.
Hey, I've got
seen your
coupons,
neighborhood.
man. I've got coupons now.
I've seen your neighborhood. It's gated, so you probably don't let DoorDash in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, secret code. We have to go to the gate.
Yes, I'll give you the code when you get here, boy.
I heard a funny story this morning. I saw a video of the golfer Lee Trevino.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've heard the phrase probably. I did not know who this was originally accredited to, but it is originally a Lee Trevino quote that if it's ever lightning, you hold it with one
Yeah,
iron.
one iron.
Yeah.
Even God struggles to hit a one iron.
That's right. So I did not know the whole story though, and the whole story is hilarious, and the way he tells the whole story
he's
is even
funny,
better.
man.
He's a great storyteller. So he tells the story that he was the week before. So he actually got struck by lightning.
Yeah, he did. He
Did
got
you know this
struck by
story?
lightning.
This
I did
was
not know
Go
that.
ahead and tell it. It's beautiful.
so he got struck by lightning, but the week before he was playing in a golf tournament and there was lightning around. That's when he made the joke. He was on the tee box and the officials came and told him to go inside, and he said, "Well, what about all the fans? Where are they going to go?" And they said, "Well, I don't, who cares about the
Yeah,
fans?
we
gotta
worry
get you
about the
inside."
fans.
He said, "So I just made a joke and I held my one iron up and said, even God can't hit a one iron." He said, "And the next week he's at me." He said, but I didn't realize. I mean, it was I guess a big deal. I mean, it said he knocked him out. He says that he saw the other side, and he was joking around. He said, "I no offense to the preacher," he said, "but I meant management, not sales. I meant management.
That's typical Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
You
He's
know.
such a great storyteller. But he said, God said, I might not be able to hit a one iron, but I can hit a little Mexican boy.
Yeah, that's right.
It was such a funny
him.
story.
I wish he'd have won more tournaments.
Yeah.
But he was one of the best. I just thought he was just so jovial.
Yeah.
And just looked like he'd be fun to play with, and play golf with.
I never knew that was, I never knew the whole story. I didn't know if he was a Christian or not. I'd never looked into it or not, but I'd heard, I saw that story. I was like, man, I did not realize that was the whole story behind that. But he said, yeah, God might not be able to hit a one iron, but he can hit me.
I meant management, not sales. I like it.
But, so yeah, be careful with that mysticism. When you're looking for signs.
Yeah, exactly. That's another way to put it. Looking for a sign, looking for them. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, the Pharisees were looking for a sign too.
Yep. Well, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's easier to believe when God shows you, or when you see it. But if you haven't seen it, it's harder to believe, I reckon. Yeah. What's the state that has a license plate show me state?
Missouri.
Yeah, okay. So I guess you've been there, huh?
Never been there. I just know Missouri is the show me state.
Yeah. Show me and then I'll believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that was, you mentioned Habakkuk, and I just read that one last night. I mean, he was sort of looking for, not a sign, but he was looking for deliverance. But it's, at the end of the day, it's being able to, it's easy to have faith when you got the signs in your face.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, or it's easier to have faith when you understand stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
He's being told something that he totally does not understand.
Yeah.
God, I know Israel or Judah has been, we know we have sinned.
Yeah.
Why on earth are you sending the Babylonians, though?
Yeah.
And we know that when the Babylonians come, that's going to be ugly. But in wrath, remember mercy. And then he gets to the end of chapter 3, and man, he says, even if this happens and whatever, and the cows aren't in the barn, the olive trees don't make olives, I'll still praise you.
Well, tell me this. How do you reconcile Gideon with the sign? Because that's completely against what we read.
God can work any way he wants to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's about all you can do.
I mean, God does show signs. I mean, did he not show Moses?
But that one was kind of like, that's against nature sign.
But he was willing. He did it. Now, does that mean that I can do it? No. I mean, unless I feel like the Lord brings me to that point, but I just don't know that I'm ever going to get to that point.
I just don't. I'm not sure why Gideon had to have a sign.
I can only from common sense. I can't. The Bible doesn't necessarily say it, but from common sense, he's about to go against a whole lot of army that's a whole lot stronger than he is. And even if he had to fight with the men he had, he still would have been a fight. If it was a straight up fight, God's not on his side, that still would have been a hard fight. Then God tells him, go ahead and send those boys home.
But I don't think Moses had to have a sign.
I don't know about that either.
No, I mean, there were some times. I can't recall him having to, God showing him a sign.
What's the burning bush and stick your hand in it?
I'm not talking about
that.
I'm talking about after they left Egypt.
Well, I would say after he had the burning bush, he didn't necessarily need too many more signs. He had seen what he needed to see. I mean, you see a burning bush and God say, I am that I am. Go down there, boy, and get my boys, my people.
He was still a little hesitant on that.
He was. Yeah. At the same time, God gave him the sign of sticking his hand in his pocket and become leprous, throwing a stick down and becoming a snake. I mean, that's some pretty good stuff that, okay. But now, mysticism would say, I have to have that too.
It just shows me on some things that just because you have a sign from God doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to believe him every time.
No.
Israel had the signs from God. They'd been delivered. They got out of Egypt, but they still didn't believe in God. Can God really do this type thing? So.
But that's also a lot of years. between it too.
But
Think about how
that's why
over time.
Yeah, but God told him, remember this. Always remember this. Celebrate it. I mean, we got holidays for it. I want y'all to remember this is what I did for you. And if you remember the past, I will do more.
Well, but think about it. We're the same way. We're only 200.
I don't know
We're
about
only
you.
248, 250. We're getting close. Years from being from our forefathers signing the Declaration of Independence.
249, yeah.
Now think about this. Think about how far we've gotten to where so many of our freedoms have been infringed upon, and how soft we've become. I mean, and that's only 250 years. Imagine 1,000. Yeah, that's it.
Trying to interpret a document that applied back then to what is applied now is just completely, to me, ludicrous.
Yeah. But think about the freedom that what they signed and what they were willing to put their life on the line for. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They wouldn't even thought of this stuff. You can't apply something written 250 years ago. I'm not talking about the Bible.
I'm just talking about remembering our freedom, and that's why I'm saying for the nation of Israel, I can see how that happened. Yeah, he freed us from Egypt, but that was thousands of years ago.
Oh, I can see it happening, but it shouldn't.
No, I'm saying it should. I'm just saying it does.
You said it does, okay. It does. I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Crystal clear now. It does.
I think sometimes, like reconciling Gideon is. I like what you said earlier. God can do it any way He wants to do it. I mean, I think you take things like God's the same today, forever, and always. Okay, yes, He is, but that doesn't mean that He's going to handle every single situation the exact. Just because He handled it this way for one person doesn't mean He's going to handle it different.
Oh yeah.
If Gabe asked me, "Can I take will you take me to the Y today?" There's a chance that I may say yes. There's a chance that I may say no. The fact that I give contradictory answers depending on circumstances doesn't mean that I've changed the way I am. It just means that for whatever reason, the answer is no today and the answer is yes another time. And God never changing doesn't mean that there's going to be uniformity in every single interaction every single person is going to have.
But He doesn't change, and that's the key to remember. I mean, look, Joshua, one of the very first battles was Jericho, and I dare say walking around the city is not necessarily your best war plan. 7 times and shouting.
Yeah. And they didn't do it anymore after that.
No, they didn't. But now, what if he'd have gone to the next city and said, "Well, this is how we do it"? No, it's. I think each stage of our life and each thing we're in, I don't necessarily want to put God in a box and say, well, He's always done it this way, or it worked at that church, it's going to work this way here. No, He's going to work among His people different ways, and that's again, it goes back to the relationship. Not trying to earn it, not trying to manipulate God, but instead listening to God. And that's where that comes in.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know that He's allowed me to catch a fish and had money in the mouth of the fish to pay my taxes. Wish He'd have done it this year. But He did that for Peter. But I mean, He's God. He can do so many different things in so many different ways. Now, He's not going to violate His character. He's not going to violate His word. But man, he can do whatever he wants.
Well, we serve a God
of
variety.
Yeah.
We don't serve a God that does this. We're going to do it this way every time. Yeah. We got a variety God. I mean, look at the races. There's black, white, whatever, red. Yeah. Look at the animals. Variety of dogs. Mm-hmm. So I don't think God is just stuck to one way. This is how we do it type thing, like you talk about. Yeah.
And I think his call to each and every person is. Trust me. Mm-hmm. Trust me.
And that does look different for each and every person.
I think so.
Yeah.
But at the very core of it, it's the same.
It's the same.
Trust is
circumstances are always going to be different.
Right. Yeah. Trust is I'm going to trust in the reliability, the ability, the strength, the power of someone or something, and I'm willing to put my whole weight in it.
Yeah, and it's such. I know I've said this a bunch of times, but the thing that I just keep trying to remind myself, and it's so stupid that I have to keep reminding myself, is that maybe, just maybe, the creator of the entire universe knows more than I do.
Once in a while.
That is really hard sometimes to remember.
Once in a while he might. Yeah.
But anytime I'm having a hard time, like, trusting things.
Or as I like to say, I've never had him call me and ask me for my advice. I offer it to him, and I don't think he needs it.
I have one last quick. I intentionally saved this for the end because I don't want it to turn into a rabbit hole.
Throw it on us.
Gabe asked me this, and I don't know the answer. He asked, "What do Jews go to heaven?" And I said, "I don't not know how to answer that question." I said, because I don't know it, and I said, I don't even know if this is something I want to bring up on the podcast. It could be a long thing, but the whole Old Testament,
you might,
but the whole Old Testament, it's. He keeps coming back to, in the end, I'll redeem my people, my people, my people.
Mm-hmm.
There is chosen people. Now, I'm assuming that that's just speaking macro, not micro, but I don't quite understand how that plays itself out in the end, or if it's something, maybe it's not something we should talk about. But I'm just curious.
I think when God was telling the Jews that I'm going to redeem my people, they are His chosen people, and they are special. They're part of the apple of His eye, and He had a purpose and a goal for the Jews, that the Jews would be a nation, a light unto the nations. They were never to be a light unto themselves. They were to be a light unto the nations, that eventually that all the children, all the families of heaven, all the families of earth would be blessed through them. So there was a purpose for the Jews, and that was that the Messiah was going to come through. Mm-hmm. They were His covenant people, in the fact of He was in the midst of them. That's what separated them from all the other nations, the Hittites, the Ammonites, all the other ites. It was so much different because God was with them and in the middle of them. Now, as far as do Jews go to heaven, and I'm going to put it in today's time frame, Old Testament still. I would say yes. Again, but it wasn't because of them following the law. The just shall live by faith. That was Habakkuk. Mm-hmm. That's Old Testament too. Right. Abraham believed God, and it was credited unto him as righteousness. So salvation was based, again, on faith and belief, just like ours is based on faith and belief. It's just, all right, faith and belief that God's going to do what He says He's going to do, versus ours is faith and belief that God did what He did at Calvary. Yeah. And so there's that salvation. And so for Jews today, my argument is they are God's chosen people. They are loved by God. But apart from Christ and what Christ said, I don't think there's salvation outside of Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm 100% correct. Agree with you.
Okay.
On that.
Well, I appreciate that.
So just to help you out, so you have more confidence, we'll talk about that again.
Yeah. Now at the same time, does God still? And this is the tricky part. Does God still? And I don't want to say favor, because that's a hard word to use. But does God still have a heart for the Israelite people? I believe He does. Yes. And I do believe that Genesis 12 still applies today. That if you bless Israel, I believe there's blessing. If we curse Israel, I believe there's cursings. And I believe and I've said this from the pulpit, and I fully believe it. I believe the moment that the United States of America goes against Israel, I'm just not looking for. I'm not looking for many blessings. Well, I'm looking for curtains, honestly.
But do you think? And I guess we're running out of time, so I don't want to get deep in this. But do you think that Israel? Because it's in the Bible. I mean, I know that. But the Palestinian people, does God love Israel more than the Palestinian people? And my thought is no. He loves everybody the same. Now, Israel, my thinking on Israel is their purpose has been fulfilled. Now, I'm not saying that they're not going to be blessed. The Bible is very clear that that's God's chosen people.
Yeah.
But their mission on this earth has been fulfilled, or maybe never fulfilled, at the death of Christ.
Okay.
So now we're all the same in Christ. There's nobody higher and nobody lower. The Korean, the Palestinian, the Israelite, the French, are all His children, equal. Now, I think on that, Israel's mission which was to be a light to the world,
Light to the nation,
has already
Messiah to come
passed.
through.
But that don't mean that God is not going to intervene.
And it doesn't mean
it
that
always says it's going to happen.
that God's done with them.
Right. Yeah, I'm not
because
saying,
when you go to Revelation, there sure are a lot of Jews getting saved.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm just saying their mission on this earth to present the gospel has already passed.
Right. Or to be the nation that's going to bring forth the Messiah.
And,
True.
And a Jew is no better than a Christian. Or actually, I mean, they're all the same. Because I firmly believe a lot of those Pharisees did not make it.
I'd be willing to say most of them. I can name two that might have.
I'm talking about the ones ones that like the high priest and
No, again, I believe there were two that made it.
Nicodemus.
And Joseph of
Oh
Arimathea.
right. I said a lot of those Pharisees didn't make it.
I would say two
That didn't make it.
that made it.
Well, yeah. I've said there's a lot of them that didn't make it.
A ton
You
of
had
them
to
didn't make it.
twist it around.
But I will say this, and I think it's one of, and I agree with you. I think it's one of how I would bring how you bring into, and again you have to look at what the text means. Jacob he loved, but Esau he hated. Well, it didn't mean he hated.
Right.
It meant he showed favor on him. And that's where I'm saying for the Israelites, I believe God still shows favor upon them. And doesn't mean he hates them being, I'm done with. No, it is he favors them. And I think there is a little bit of a difference, but it doesn't mean he loves them any less. It just means he blesses the children of Israel more so than he does anybody else.
If a Palestinian and a Jew asked to be forgiven for their sins, which one would Jesus forgive?
Yeah. Both if it's to the cross.
Exactly. So there's no. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Their mission has been accomplished. I'm just saying that it's a lot in the Bible that God's going to redeem that, and Israel's going to see the true Messiah. I mean, I agree with that, but we have taken the Jewish or the Israel's mission from them. We now are out there.
Yeah, God has changed.
Yeah, that's all I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I get incredibly confused with all the different nations and the names and all these things and keeping up with the genealogy. But aren't there situations in the Old Testament or times in the Old Testament where people that were non-Jews, God still used non-Jews and non-Jews still believed in God?
Sure.
Right? Because I know there's like
Rahab.
Right.
Yeah, it happened all the time.
So it's not just about the bloodline, right? It's not just because if you're just looking at it in that context, it's like, okay, are you?
No, the Jews made it about that.
Right.
God never did.
Right.
Because God saved the Ninevites.
Right.
Which was a wicked city of 120,000
people. I was wondering if
people.
Ninevites, because when you get into the Old Testament, you got
Jonah
Judah and
went
Israel are battling, and it's kind of hard to.
Nineveh was a wicked city. And Jonah goes to it, and they repent.
Well, I firmly
But it wasn't just a
But
wicked
now, a little bit
city.
later, they are going to be destroyed. But
I firmly believe God has used every nation. There's been people that have been saved. Now, we don't hear about that because the Bible is written for the Jews. I mean, that was what they were supposed to do. But God was working more than what we even think. It wasn't just in the Bible. Yeah. God has worked in, maybe Chinese or whatever.
Well, he is sovereign over all the nations.
Yeah.
And there's not a nation.
So he wasn't just working through Israel.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's hard to believe, but even God was working through World War II and everything that Germany and Italy did. God still had a purpose for it. And God brought it together that, hey, Israel became a nation out of that.
And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of non-Christian or non-Jewish mention of people, like you say, Rahab, Ruth, a lot of
Moabite. Yep.
A lot of people that were not part of the Jewish that are mentioned in the Bible. I mean, I can just keep on going. The Ethiopian, the guy.
Would you say Naaman?
That's what I was saying. Naaman. That I was trying to think of his name.
Yeah, I would say Naaman.
So I mean, we just see. Sometimes I don't see how much of outside of Israel, God was working. People on the outside, but there is a lot.
Yep. Yeah. God had a world on His heart from day one.
Yeah.
Not just the Jews.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, sorry for the rabbit hole. At the
No,
end.
I like
Do you
that.
have something to close us?
Well, I mean, we've
Yeah, go
kind
ahead.
of talked about it. Unless you got something, I'll let you if you want to share something.
No, I'll just.
No, I look. It kind of goes with what we've been saying all day, and it's kind of been a theme that the Lord just continues to lay on my heart, and I don't know why, but somebody out there needs to hear it. And here it is man, we live in a world of fear. Fear of the future, fear of death, fear of being alone, fear of getting fat, fear of not being well when I'm older, fear of sick. I mean, name it. What other fears you got? Fear of financial ruin, fear of who knows what all we're afraid of. And I think it's one of, we've talked about trust all day. Yes. And Psalm 56:3, when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. And I think it's one of, I believe that's the way you can choose to live life. You can live in fear, scared to death, worried, kind of like what we talked about Sunday, is carrying all that baggage and bondage, or you can trust. Mm-hmm. One or the other, your choice. And I believe that's the invitation today is trust me. Yeah. We've talked about it all throughout. But that's the key is do you believe? And are you willing to put everything you got in who He is, His ability, His reliability, what He does, His dependability, all of that? Are you willing to trust that He is who He says He is?
And I'd go even further that, God is not, He's our Father. He's not here to hurt you. Mm. He's here to, although we think a lot of times that God is, I don't understand this, I don't understand. No, God's not here to hurt you. He's here to help you.
Yep.
So.
But sin does carry a price.
Sin does carry a price, and it carries a big price.
Yep. And don't forget.
What's the wages of sin?
It's death.
That's what I heard.
Speaking of death.
Amen.
Speaking of death, 4th of July is coming up, boys. Don't forget Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I'm anxious to see is Joey Chestnut going to take it this year. I have a feeling he might be.
Does that not? Are we allowed to watch that, or is that gluttony on display?
I'll watch it.
Aren't we celebrating gluttony of the hot dog eating
but
contest?
I watch it, baby. I'm gonna tell you that. I love it just for the guy that they have doing the introductions. Yeah. That's the best part, man. That guy, he ought to be in pro wrestling.
You realize those guys have to warm up. Like they don't. I don't think that those are the first hot dogs they eat. They have to eat a little bit. To
what
get
kind
their
of joy? What kind of jaw strength do you have? I'm telling you, those boys just tear into it. And then when they go up there and they talk about, the matzo ball eating champion, the pizza eating champion. He wants to eat 200 wings as wing eating champion. I'm sitting there like, 10 pounds of boiled potatoes. I'm like, golly.
The funniest thing, too, is half the guys that are winning these things, they're not big guys.
No,
they just look like us.
No, Joey Chestnut's not a fat guy. Now, he's gotten a little chubbier through the years. Kobayashi, who was the first one to really take it to the level, a little bitty fella.
Yeah.
So it is a technique, is learning how, but I still don't know where you put it.
So now I'm getting hungry. You just killed my diet now on a hot dog.
I have not learned the technique, but I do know how to eat 4 or 5 hot dogs without backing down.
I think I've learned the technique a little bit.
I think I can eat at 7 or 8. I used to eat a whole bunch more.
He's not practicing, but he's got a natural ability to eat
based on my weight, I think I've learned a little bit.
We made some hot dogs down at the beach.
Did you?
While we were down there
the red
one
ones?
night. The red ones. Yeah. And boy, I'm going to tell you what, I ate 4 of them before I even
You cook them on the grill?
No, we boiled them.
Okay.
See, I'm such a minority around here that I'm not on the red team.
Really?
I'm a brown hot dog. I'm a beef.
And you're a North Carolina boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What other hot dog is there?
Are they going to
beef
that brown stuff? Are they going to outlaw that? Is that a red dye thing? Because if they do, they're going to be some sad folks around here, boy.
What is
both of them is there.
Well,
the red is dye.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about RFK, Make America Healthy Again. The red dye got kicked out of Skittles. It's supposed to be, and I don't know if it's the same red dye. I'm sure it's not because this stuff's good for you.
Have you ever seen them make it?
What? No.
You ever seen
I don't want to. I've already known.
I don't want to know.
I had to audit.
Oh,
Lord.
Before.
I bet it stinks.
Man, those guys' hands are just bright red. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you. Hopefully they're wearing gloves now. But the dye that they put in the hot dogs are like, I don't know. It sticks to your arm.
All I know is I know what a processing place smells like.
Yeah.
And I know good and well hot dogs, I guarantee you that place stinks.
Why do they put the red dye in it? Just for looks?
Because it's green when it first comes out. Hot dog is not red. It's green. It's the guts and everything
Green.
else.
Is it green?
Yeah. So even the beef has the dye in it.
Yeah.
It's just well, have you ever seen a pig intestines and all that?
Never mind. I was craving a hot dog.
I still am.
That's
You
why
know it
it's
make me
green.
not crave
that's
it,
why.
I'm telling
That's
you.
why. Who would eat something green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, turnips.
Well,
Turnip greens.
turnip. greens.
Collard greens.
Yeah, but that's not meat.
That's not meat.
Yeah. When I look
Green
at meat,
meat's,
that's green.
Where did you get your
I'm
hot dogs at when you said you stopped and got hot dogs? You said you made a trip all the way down to the coast for some hot dogs.
It's Flowers Plantation.
Oh, that was when you
Big old-
played.
yeah, big
I
old
know the
thing out
place.
there.
Is it good? Was it good?
I've always loved them.
Have you tried Rock Service Station Road right down
Yeah,
from your road?
that
Yeah.
one too. That's on my list. Yes.
Huh.
See, I'm out there in hot dog country.
Well,
My side.
we need to go. I'm telling you, there ain't many places around here.
I know where they're at.
Well,
Come on my side of the tracks.
what I fixed the other night, that's better than anything I've had in a long time.
What kind did you have?
The red Jesse Jones or Carolina Brightleaf skinless
Okay. Where'd you get them?
Food Line.
Yeah. Okay. So you got the egg ones.
What'd you cook them on?
What was the temperature?
Yeah, they were boiled, and we had good buns, and we made
Why do
hot
we-
dog chili and slaw.
Why do we?
White.
Okay.
You don't go wheat on a hot dog.
No,
What are you talking about?
I'm just asking.
You already,
I'm just
you know, a
asking.
Talk
study
about
was
putting
done.
lipstick on a pig.
A
right
study
there.
was done that says every hot dog you eat takes 5 minutes off of your life. That's not a joke. That's a study. But now you can do things to add to it, like swim.
I'm just.
You go swim for an hour, you can have 4 hot dogs.
Before hot
I'm
dogs.
just going on faith that I believe what he says.
Yeah, but there is a study that was. Now, how you gonna know that? There's no way to know.
See, I'm more.
That's like the old. If
everything
you are
has
falling in a dream and you don't wake up before you hit the ground, you die. How you know?
That reminds me. I had a dream about the show
Boy,
last
I had a
night.
dream the other night. Go ahead.
I meant
Did you
to
hit
say this at the
If
beginning.
you hit the ground.
Did you?
No, I did not. But I got to tell you about it.
I meant to say this at the beginning. It's not even really that. It would have been better to start with. But no, I've dreamed about the show last night, and I've dreamed that you were not here. You played vacation or something.
Nice.
We didn't have, so we've had to have 2 fill-ins. Doug was here.
That'd be
Me,
good.
you, Doug, and there was one more. I don't know who
Was
the
it
other
Brandon?
one was. No, they were unidentified.
Oh, unidentified.
I don't know who they were.
Unidentified.
But the person
that's
may have been
obvious.
representing
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah.
It might have been someone impersonating Brandon.
Somebody
but it
that
was
didn't want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you weren't here. You were on vacation or something, and
Nice.
it was chaotic without you. It didn't work
Wow.
very well.
I mean, he's the
Yeah.
glue that
Really,
holds it
yeah.
together.
Really.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
almost like, why are we
Kenny?
even bothering
Kenny,
without
wow.
Kenny here?
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
God's good.
No, I ain't even going to tell you my dream. My dream was so crazy. It had to do with artificial intelligence, man. I dreamed I hit
That
my
is
head.
crazy.
I dreamed I hit my head, and they had to put like a computer in
Wow.
my head, and I was depending on either artificial intelligence or making choices on my own. And is this my wife or not? I mean, it was crazy. I woke up and was like, that's a warning. I think that's a warning about artificial intelligence.
Well, I think some of that has happened.
My head?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Some of it has happened,
But I'm
maybe
telling
not all
you,
of
man,
it.
do you know? I mean, it is unreal. I did not know this. We got in the car Sunday, and Renee showed me. She said, "Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you something," and because she was impressed with my 6 F's of the foundations of the freedom, and she typed in Chat GPT, "Give me an outline on this and she said, and start it with the letter F." And man, I sit there and I said, no, golly, I could not believe it. So she had 8 different outlines, and I'm sitting there like, man, I worked hard all week long.
Well, she just Google it.
Chat GPT,
Oh, okay.
AI.
Yeah, and
That's some scary stuff, boys.
Yeah, that's a potential soapbox. I'll be careful because that AI scares the crap out of me. It really does, and I'll use it occasionally Well, I'll tell you what I use it for.
I think it's used to be enhance.
Yeah. I will do this. I will load a podcast into an AI and let it pick the clips.
Yeah.
You know, and that works out okay.
I think that's okay.
But yeah, there are so many videos and articles, and now what really drives me nuts now is that you used to Google stuff. Now you don't Google it. When you Google it, Google comes back and gives you an AI answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's usually correct, but it's it's something
Scary.
about AI just
It's scary,
scares
man.
me. I don't know.
Those
It's-
YouTube videos about that
I'm
on some of that stuff about they advertise.
I'm just afraid we're going to lose our ability to reason and our ability to think.
Well, and I'll tell you
That might be
something.
the next generation.
Computer's got to tell me what to believe and what to think.
Now, there was okay, so PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler won a PGA Championship, and right after that, we had a show, and I was talking about Scotty Scheffler, and you said something about a video of him being pretty mad or something like that. Now, I don't know what it was that you saw, but a few days later, now Scotty Scheffler is as upstanding Christian
good guy.
man as there is, but there was a video floating around. I don't know if you saw this of him just dropping F-bombs and GDs left and right in a
But it
press
was-
conference.
but
It was
that was
AI.
fake.
Right, it was AI.
Yes, that's what-
but
yeah.
if you didn't know, you couldn't tell the difference.
Mine was something he'd been upset at.
Because he did get mad about the middle of the course. But I was telling Mama or somebody, I was like, after we had the podcast, I saw that video. I was like, I wonder if that's what Ben was
mine
thinking.
was and upset, meaning he didn't show himself. He just was upset that they'd done something different.
Well, they didn't let him clean the mud off their balls, and it
That's
rained
it.
like crazy, and he hit 3 balls in the water that shouldn't have gone in the water. I'd have been mad too.
But no, that's the other thing is I can't stand is they'll have a press conference of somebody and it was just like one of the youth the other day came in and said, "Did you know Ronald Reagan said this?" And he showed it to me and I said, "I can tell you, Ronald Reagan did not say that."
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, "Son, I grew up during Reagan. I know that was not, he did not say that." Well, I said, "It's fake, dude."
Yeah.
So much of it. is
Yeah.
fake.
A lot of it, I've noticed on the YouTube videos that I've seen, I can tell by the tone of the voice.
There's a little
Right
bit
now.
right now.
Right now.
Just give it
Yeah.
2 years from now.
So I know that's fake. I'll move on.
Yeah.
I think it's
2
very
years from now,
important.
I don't know.
Very important to point out this is not an AI generated video.
No.
We are 3 very real human beings, if you haven't
Yes.
figured that out by this point.
I mean, would AI wear that?
Any mistakes that were made on this show were human error, not computer.
That's. I do need to talk. We do need to kind of decide a little bit about what we're doing the next couple of weeks. So when we got through playing Wilmington Muni on Friday, it was hot down there.
Yeah.
We got through.
man.
I walked right into the room, put on my swim trunks, headed right to the ocean. Didn't even stop to say hello to my wife. I threw my then just headed right chest deep in the ocean.
Where's Nicole? I don't see her in church anymore.
She was there Sunday, 2 Sundays ago.
But I wasn't there.
They don't count.
So I told him, I said, "Well, son, if I buy you those for your graduation, I get yours."
Yeah.
And so he's got Apex, Callaway Apex. I love them.
Oh, yeah.
They're nice.
What did you do with your old ones?
They needed to go where they needed to go in the barn. Those were Fred Flintstones. I could have taken a tobacco stick and a rock and tied it like Fred Flintstone. I think we'd have been about as good.